Hey guys, it's Mo. So today I have another tutorial for you on how to cut a PDF printable sticker sheet or whatnot using your Cricut Explorer. That is right. We're going to cut this PDF printable that's available in my shop with the Cricut Explorer in Cricut Design Space and using a few other softwares that are one, free and two, easy to use. So first off, I wanted to say that you can do this technique I'm going to show you with any PDF to which you have or with which you have, am I speaking English? That you have a blackout file of. What a blackout file is a file that is all black that corresponds to the file or the sticker kit that you have. So in my shop, I have actually added a second zip file download to all of my weekly sticker kits. If it says weekly planning sticker kit in it, it has a blackout file. Additionally, it has a blackout file picture if it has a blackout file. So what that is a file that corresponds, everything is positioned exactly the way this is positioned, and it's going to line up perfectly. So you're going to get two zip files, and what you'll get, which I don't have everything in this folder here that you'll get, I just picked and choose what I needed. You will get the PDF of the sticker kit, you will get the PDF of the blackout file, and you're going to get a PNG of the blackout file. Right here, I have the PNG of the blackout file because that's going to work the best for what I'm trying to do here. What this also helps you do is create easier trace lines in your Silhouette software, but it also can help you with your Cricut software as well. So in order to get a PNG or JPEG image that we can use, I like using PNG images, that's just me, that we can use to do this technique, we need to convert this PDF into an image. What I like to do is go to a website called pdf2png.com and upload my image. So what you do is you find where you've downloaded, where you've downloaded the PDF image, or the PDF file, I'm sorry, and you drag it over to this gray box. It's going to upload it, convert it into an image, and then you can download it again. So you just hit download. It's going to bring it into your downloads file folder. I'm using Chrome, so this is where mine goes. It goes to the bottom bar here. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to extract all files. Hit extract, and that's going to bring up another folder with the PNG image in your downloads folder. I have moved everything that I want to work with today into this one folder on my desktop so I know what I'm working with. The next thing we want to go to is a really cool website I recently found and have been playing around with it. It's pixlr.com. P-I-X as an X-ray L-R.com. What it is it's like an advanced photo editing software. You just scroll down, go to Launch Web App here under Pixlr Editor, and that's going to bring up a Photoshop style window online program for you to work with. What you have is a bunch of different options here to open your files. We're going to open an image from the computer. I'm going to select this. It's only going to show you image files, so PNG, JPG, bitmap, that kind of thing. So we're going to open our sticker kit, the Falling Feathers Weekly Sampler Kit. I'm going to open the PNG file. That brings it up in a new window. This is the window we're working from. What we want to do now is open up that PNG blackout file over this file. So instead of going File, New Image, where we would get a new window, we want to open a new layer. So under this Layers tab here, go to Open Image as Layer, find where you've saved your blackout file, open that one, and what it does is it opens the image over the top of your base sticker kit. And this is going to help you snap out or pop out all of those elements here. So what we want to do is take our, I think this is like the Magic Select tool. If I hover over it, I'm not sure if it's going to give me the name of it, Wand tool. So you just click on a white area there, and it should give you this little marquee saying that this is selected. So what we want to do is we want to go over to our layers pane here. This is the layers pane. Make sure layer 1 is selected, and we're going to send it to the trash. We're going to delete it. We're also going to unlock this layer so that we can remove this white background. So if you can tell, everything is selected all right up to those boxes. So that is pretty stinking neat. So what we want to do is double click to unlock this. We can use our shortcut key of Control X, or you can go up here to Edit and Cut, and that's going to remove that whole background. Now, isn't that pretty cool? So this is not, if you watched my other tutorial on Silhouette Studio, I can't get this to release, on Silhouette Studio, where you can then take these images and pop them out like that. It doesn't really technically work like that for the Cricut. What we need to do is pop these out individually. We're going to go over here and take this marquee tool, and the beauty of this is you don't have to be precise. You don't have to be precise because your Cricut is going to read the outside of the PNG image. It's not going to read whether or not you've been, I don't know how to put it precisely, whether or not you've been precise. So what we're going to do is we're just going to select this, make sure we're only selecting this one box. You're going to use either Edit, Cut, or I like to use my shortcut keys to make things faster. The more shortcut keys you use, the faster you will become at this process. So we can just do Control X, that pops it out. Then we're going to go File, New Image. It's going to bring this up. We do want to keep this set at the clipboard size. Create Image from a Clipboard. That's going to bring the image that we just cut into this new window here, and make sure it has a transparent background, not a white background, so the Cricut Explore, Design Space, etc. knows to cut around that image and not just around the box that we're going to make that is 348 pixels by 410 pixels. Click OK, and you have a new box right here. What I like to do is just to continue on doing this, grabbing all my boxes, Control X, File, New Image, click, OK. Moving this over here, go back to the weekly sampler, and you can zoom in. So we can use your scrolling key. After you've clicked on this, you can sort of use your scrolling key and navigate this little red window around to make sure you're not cutting things you don't want to cut. Then File, New Image, Create from Clipboard, Transparent, OK. Move this over here, and you may notice that the dimensions aren't always the same, and that is fine. Whoa! Like I said, my mouse is sort of acting up today, and I'm not quite sure why. I thought that I had dead batteries and it wasn't letting me click things, but I don't know. So, select your heart checklist or whatever, Control X, File, New Image, Create Transparent Background, Create from Clipboard, OK. There you have it there. Now what I want to show you, let's go back to this one. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. It's something that you can do. The print area of the Cricut Explore for Chrome, for example, I'm using Chrome, is 5.5 by 8. 5.5 by 8.5, I believe it is. So instead of trying to cut out these individual to-dos and little things and things like that, what we can do is trace and cut out, I don't want to say trace, but use the marquee tool, select and cut out all of the to-dos. So Control X or Edit, Cut. Then we can go to File, New Image, Create Image from Clipboard, Transparent, OK. And this image is not going to be larger than 1.5 or by the 5.5 by 8.5. When we get to Cricut Explore, Cricut Design Space, we're going to size this to be 1.5 inches wide. We're going to keep the proportions locked, and we're going to size only the width because we know that the width of an Erin Condren box is 1.5 inches wide. So we can continue throughout all of this here, cutting each individual checklist. You can cut out the weekend banner. You can cut out these. You can cut out the icons here, all that stuff. I'm going to continue to do that, and then I'm going to bring some of these elements into Design Space. So once you have all of these little bits and pieces broken apart from your sticker kit here. I didn't break up everything. I just wanted to do a few as an example. You can then click on them and you can go to File, Save. You want to make sure that you're picking PNG and then it's transparent. Save it to your computer. You can name it whatever you want, like icons 1 or something. Okay, and I'm going to actually make a new folder, and I'm going to call it Falling Feathers Elements. We'll go in here, icons 1, save, and you can close that. Then you can click on the next one here. I'm going to use a shortcut key, which is Control S. That's going to bring that up. Make sure it's a PNG. You don't have to name it at this step. You can click OK and then name it here. So I will name this Checklist 1. Then I'll close this out. I'm going to move this out of the way here. We'll go here, Control S, PNG, OK. What was that? To do headers. Close this out. We'll click on this one, Control S as in Sam, PNG, and like I said, it doesn't matter the size of this box because the Cricut Explorer knows to just cut the outline of the images in the file. Okay, icons 2, close this out, PNG, okay, icons 3. And the thing you want to remember about like cutting out these icons is you want to make them one row so that you can change the width and keep the width consistent, and the proportions, if they're locked in Cricut Design Space, it's going to keep all the proportions the same. So we can close this out. We'll go over here, Control S, PNG, okay, mini, checklist 1. Do that. This one, Control S, PNG, okay, mini checklist 2. Weekend banner, we can go Control S, PNG, okay, weekend banner, etc., etc., making sure you're saving all of this as a PNG. I'm going to go through all of this and then I'm going to bring it back into Cricut Design Space. Okay, so I've saved all of those elements that I've cut out and opened into new windows. I've saved them into this folder here. You can see they all exist. And the great part about this, it is a lot of work, but now you have 5 individual color checklists. So if, say, you want to create a sticker sheet of just these color checklist boxes, you have them separated and you can do as you wish. It's kind of like working with clip art. You know, now I do want to throw in here at this point, just because you've popped all of these out and you've created quote unquote a clip art type of thing with them, does not mean you can use these and sell these as they are. For my printables, for anybody's printables, you cannot take these elements and put them in another configuration and sell this. That's not how this works. I always want to throw that out there because if it's not said, someone might take it that way, and I just want to make sure it's completely out there. So now what we're going to do is go into Cricut Design Space. We want to open a new canvas, and we're going to go to Upload Images. And you want to click on Upload Image, Browse, and you're going to have to do all of these one by one, but believe me, it's worth it. So we'll pick this box, we'll hit Open. I always select complex image just because I want to make the full effect. I'm not sure. You can see it changes the colors a little bit. So I always pick complex image to make sure everything is true as it can be. So I'll hit continue. We don't need to clean anything up. If you can see this checkerboard behind it, that means it's only going to cut out the box. If you click on preview, it should load and say that it's only going to cut that box, and that's how great that is. Continue. You can label it how you want if you want to do anything. We'll do falling, I should have left that in there. Falling Feathers Box 1. And you want to make sure you're saving it as a print then cut image, and then you click on save, and it's going to bring it into your library. And we're going to do this for every one. Box 2, open. Complex image, continue. We don't have to clean anything up. Continue. We'll name this Falling Feathers Box 2. Save. And it'll import it into your library. I'm going to import all of these doing the same method. Upload image, browse, choosing my image. Whoops, why did I hit cancel? Choosing my image, opening it, clicking on complex image as soon as it loads. Continue. We don't have to clean anything up. Continue. Falling feathers. Save. I'm going to continue to do that and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've uploaded all of the elements from the Falling Feathers kit. Now what I want to do is just select them all, every element here. Click, 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 click. And insert the images. It's going to bring them all into, sized oh so funky, into your canvas. Now, what you want to remember is, like I was saying before, how you want to take one column or one row because you know that there are going to be specific heights there, and that's going to make it, or heights and widths, and that's going to make it easy for you to size this correctly to fit your planner. As you can see, if we move this up here, this is only 1 inch and maybe 1/4. So we want to go to edit and make sure we keep the proportions locked. Under size, we want to change the width to 1.5. That's going to make these be 1.5 inches wide, which we know will fit the Erin Condren planner or those kinds of the Happy Planner where columns are 1.5 inches wide. And we also know that since we've kept the proportions locked, it's going to make the the height of the individual covers, what is called like header covers, be that 0.25, 0.27, 0.26 inch in height measurement. So we're going to do the same thing with this. We know that these need to be 1.5 inches wide. As long as we keep the proportions locked, it's going to stay that way. So not the weekend banner yet. We'll do this one to do. Got to be 1.5. Now for these guys, it's a little bit tricky. You can either print out something and or print it out and measure it, or you can take a guess that they're about maybe 0.8 inches wide. I think that's about it, maybe 0.8, 0.9. So, and I meant to change this one, not the width. Does that make it look better? Yes. So, like I was saying for the rows, so we know that this height is what we want to change to make sure that these are all the right size. Like I just changed that width to 0.8, that shrunk everything down, making this width, this measurement 0.8 when we really wanted this measurement to be 0.8. So now those look about the right size. For these guys, we know that a checklist has to be 1.5 inches wide to fit in the box. If we keep the proportions locked, it's going to go down to 1.9. These guys, this is another one where we want to change the height here. We don't want to change the width. We want to change the height. We want to make sure we change those to about 0.5. That's how big, personally, I make my icons here. Here's another checklist that we know needs to be 1.5 inches wide, so it will fit within the boundaries of the Erin Condren box. This one, we got to change the height, 0.5. And you can see these are now going to be about the same size. We'll do another one here. Make this 0.5. They're all changing to the same size. Here's another icons, 0.5. They're all going to be the same size. Another checklist box, 1.5. There you go. And let's say, for example, my kits that I make only come with 4 dewdrops or teardrop stickers. If you want more, right-click, copy, right-click, paste. Now you've got 8 of them that you can cut out. This is a half box. We know the width of that needs to be 1.5 in order for it to fit into a box. Here's another checklist. It's got to be 1.5. I'm hitting a comma. 1.5 inches wide for it to fit into our Erin Condren boxes. Another one. 1.5 inches wide. Another one. 1.5 inches wide. Now we're getting to our pattern boxes. 1.5. Here's another checklist, 1.5. Like I said, this is tedious, but once you do it, you have it forever. So if you say, you know what, I really like the colors of this kit, but maybe I don't want to do the same kit planning, again. So I'm just going to use the checklists and icons because they're just really pretty. I like the colors, that kind of thing. You can then just print out what you need. So these are event boxes, and we can actually go rotate these 90 degrees. No, we're not going to do that. I was going to rotate them, but I think it's going to screw up what I'm trying to say. So we want the height here to be 1.5. So we'll change this 1.5. Then we can rotate it 90 degrees. And now it's the width, and it's going to fit in correctly. The weekend banner is one that's kind of funny. I believe you want the weekend banner to be about 3.2 inches wide, because if you remember, like the Erin Condren boxes, we'll use this as an example here. They're kind of spaced like this, so when you put this over it, you want to make sure you're covering it all. You see what I'm saying? So now we have all of our elements cut out. They're all over the canvas. We also want to make sure, they should all be like this, but you want to make sure it has the print logo here. We'll hit go. It might take a second here. And you'll see that the Cricut Explorer has automatically aligned all your stickers in a way that it will all fit within the print area or the print borders. You can also turn on and off the bleed. I like to leave the bleed on. I find that my printer or my Cricut cuts more precisely with the bleed on. But there you go. And then we can close it out. You can then save this as a new project. You can make as many duplicates of the check boxes, of the full boxes, of the icons, of the event stickers, of the weekend banners if you want. You can even purchase quite a few sets, cut them all up like this, and then upload them all so that you can have a variety of half boxes, a variety of icon stickers, a variety of teardrop stickers, a variety of weekend banners. It's really, really helpful to sit and maybe do this in an afternoon. Like I said, the shortcut keys and that blackout file are going to help you tremendously in this. I am so excited to share this with you guys because I know that a lot of people have this silhouette, and it's so hard to find Cricut ready stickers or Cricut tutorials, cutting PDFs with your Cricut that make sense and are super easy and super precise. I hope that this helped out a little bit. It was my goal for it to help out a little bit, especially with the cutting the images apart without having to zoom in so close and be super precise, especially if you don't have the like if you don't have Photoshop or Photoshop Elements or things like that. I'm always about finding free resources online that you can use. You already spent $150 or whatever you did on your Cricut. You don't need to spend even more money on I guess supplemental softwares to go with your Cricut Explore and to actually feel like you're using your Cricut Explore and being creative and doing what you want to do with it. It is fully possible to make and cut stickers that you download from Etsy. Got to make sure they got that blackout file. Really easily in your Cricut Explore. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm super excited about this video. That's why I'm going on and on and on about it. But I do hope it was helpful for you. I will leave all the links that you need for this down below. I will leave some other supplemental kind of posts as well. And I do hope that you check them out. I will leave a link to purchase a Cricut Explorer down below as well if you are looking to buy one. I love my Cricut Explorer for paper crafting. And it's okay to make stickers as well too. I'm also going to leave a vlog down below comparing the Silhouette and the Cricut Explorer in case you want to watch that. So thank you so much for getting through this video. I do hope you try this out and I do hope that it helps you. I'm very excited about it. So I will talk to you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.